the Baltimore Urban League gets together mayoral candidates at Morgan State University, and Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill face off in a shopping mall today on the Diamond K Show. Welcome back to Radio on Fire. Of course, I go by the name of Diamond K. Thank you for joining me. A lot of things going on in election world here in Baltimore. Of course, we are in the midst of a mayoral election. Candidates coming out the woodworks, over 30-some candidates. And, of course, some people don't have any chance of winning, but they are in the race nonetheless. And at Morgan State University, home of the Morgan Bears, I believe, Morgan State University, there was a candidate forum. These words, they like to use these words, candidate forum, when they don't want to debate. Usually the candidates are scared and shook of a debate. If they called it a debate, I'm sure Jack Young would not have showed up. He would have been scared and shook. Also, Nicki Minaj recently married. She has said that she's going to be making some sort of a comeback next week, so I'm anxious to see what that entails. But anyway, she had a unscheduled run-in with her ex, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So as I said, the Greater Baltimore Urban League having a candidate forum, and we're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it. Of course, if you miss any episodes of the shows, we have original content at radioonfire.com. A lot of things that we're going to be rolling out for our members. radioonfire.com/join is where you're going to go for that. As I said, it's Diamond K, Radio on Fire. The Diamond K Show, new episodes dropping 7 p.m. weekdays. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stitcher Radio, Twitter, anywhere that you can get podcasts, SoundCloud, etc., etc. But very, very easy to go to radioonfire.com. Nikki in the building. How you doing, Nikki?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. You had a chance, of course, to take a look at this candidate forum. I mean, it wasn't a debate because they weren't directly addressing each other, but there was moments of shade. Have you been to Morgan University before?
Yes, I have.
Did you like Morgan? I mean, you were there partying. That's right. That's what you were there, right? Partying.
Yeah, of course.
So this is partying in the 90s. It was a good party scene at Morgan in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it still was.
You think it's probably still
Who
is?
said it was the 90s?
It was 2000s?
Was the 90s for you?
Was it the 80s? What was it?
Now.
Okay. Lady don't tell age.
Wait, did you say the 8? I'm going to get you in 1 minute. Now you went from bad to worse.
You like, yay. Oh.
I know.
You was like, you was living school days. So this the candidate forum took place. And let me preface things by saying this. Putting on live events is not an easy task. Okay,
yeah,
so I don't want to sit and throw jabs at the Urban League or whoever did the sound system, but the sound needed to be addressed. Okay, that's
Absolutely.
What we have sound check for. The challenge of having something 11 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday is that sound checks got to happen very early. Okay, they had like a lot of nice, pretty signs with the people behind it. But me and working here at Radio on Fire, I always tell people not to focus on extra things when the fundamentals are not in order, right?
Yeah.
So let me be transparent. What do I mean? I mean, we've had shows come through Radio on Fire, and people are focused on their cell phones.
Mm-hmm. Their lives.
They're live. I gotta get my live. My parents want to see my live, right? More than the content that they're gonna say on the show,
That's
right?
true.
They all out of focus of the main camera because they want to get. I gotta turn my camera this way. They really focus, and okay, part of it's my fault because I put phone stands on the table.
Yes, you
but
do.
I just mean just put the phones on the table and just let it sit and whatever. Like I've done shows where I'm sitting at the main news desk. And I just put my phone, sit it down. It's not even an issue. I sit it there and I don't even mess with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they got to turn this way. They lean in the shot. Oh, my phone great die. You got to cord. It's all kind of crazy stuff. Okay, so the Urban League was worried about other things. Whoever did the sound, because I don't think the Urban League did the sound. But whoever they hired to do the sound, right? Okay, the
Morgan
microphones.
State
Oh,
University. I'm quite sure.
Was it a student? The student?
You know what? It probably was a student. It probably was. They were so distracting.
That Bama need to fail.
Yeah.
But he gets an
for incomplete.
Yes. Okay. So they had microphones that didn't work sometimes, and some of the people that were up there, no one even made an issue when you couldn't even hear that mic. They're like, we don't want to hear this Bama anyway.
You could see their lips moving, but there was no sound. That was funny. Yeah. It was funny.
So they had some interesting openers. I was intrigued by the fact that one of the openers, who had her hair freshly braided, let us know that she was just coming back from Hawaii.
Right.
Aloha.
Right.
And but she had to come back at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the hair was freshly braided and a very interesting jacket. But she probably got that from Hawaii too.
The jacket?
Aloha. Okay. Have you been to Hawaii?
I have not.
Aloha?
I want to go there one day, though.
It sounds expensive. They import everything.
Yeah,
they import criminals. It's nothing. Nothing grows.
Nothing is original in Hawaii.
Everything's imported. Okay. Of course, you just tuned in. You listen to the Davy K Show, Radio on Fire. I'm joined in here by Nikki. So we're talking about the Greater Baltimore Urban League and the 14 mayoral candidates that graced the stage of Morgan State. And they opened up with, a live. What is the first lady who introduced them? Right.
Okay.
Very high energy. You know what I mean? It seems like she yells everything. You know what I mean? I was joking with you, but in her house, she's like, look, this is what it's going to be, and we're tired of this. I want breakfast, and I want it now.
Yeah, she was.
Who drunk all the milk? Because she was really energetic.
That's what you want to call it?
Is that what she was energetic? Yeah, she yelled about stuff in the middle of the phone. Wake up!
I think she would just say that she was passionate.
What was that Spike Lee movie where he was like,
School Days
up, right?
at the end? Yeah, yeah,
Lord,
yeah.
Just can't get away from it. So they did this interesting way. I mean, camera angles be damned. And the cameraman, I don't know what he was doing behind the scenes, but he or she was probably doing a lot of things. Okay, he's checking his text messages. He probably
went live on his phone.
He was doing a lot of things. Some candidates, the cameraman was just like, man, fuck it.
Well, some of them wouldn't stay still though.
Yeah,
they had that. I mean, they wanted to walk around like it was a talk show or something.
Yeah, I didn't like that, and I also didn't like the fact that some candidates, like you're saying, did not want to stand in front of the purpose of the big banner with their name on it, because they paid a lot of money for those banners, right?
Right.
And the purpose of the big banner with your name on is when you stand in front of your big banner, dummy.
So people know who you are.
Some people walk. This is not the time to walk around the stage like you doing an Apple presentation and you unrolling a new iPhone,
right?
You know what I mean?
Are you the only person on stage?
iPhone 2020. I just let people know.
Right?
No. Okay.
I think they were just nervous. You think? Like
yes,
sometimes that's a nervous thing.
Some people were nervous.
Yeah.
And some people had reason to be nervous. And if I'm a citizen of Baltimore, as I am, at least right now, I'd be nervous because some of these candidates make me damn nervous. Yeah. Okay, some of these people did not need to be on stage. Some people would not. You know how your teachers used to say. I don't know if they say it now, but they said it when I was a student. You got to dress for success.
Oh
right?
yeah,
dress for the occasion.
Right.
There was a young lady on the stage that had on a sweatshirt. Okay.
Right.
Talking about she running for mayor. Okay.
I think she forgot where she was going.
Yes.
I think that maybe, you know how sometimes you don't put those calendar reminders on, and maybe she forgot And at the last minute, she was on her way to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And someone reminded her that she needed to be at the forum today. And instead of missing it altogether, she just made a quick detour and came there instead of going where she was originally planning to go. I think that's what really happened.
Okay.
Because there is no way you're going to tell me that she actually dressed for that way, for the forum.
So I want to address the elephants in the room.
No.
Okay. So we're talking about dressing. Let's just get it all out of the way. Catalina Bird, who is a friend of the show. Catalina Bird, I like Catalina Bird. Okay. I've known Catalina Bird for many years. Okay. But she did not wear the right shoes.
No.
Okay. And you noticed as soon as she walked out on the stage,
her feet were hurting.
You said she can't walk in heels or whatever.
No, I said her feet hurt.
You said her feet was hurt.
I said that before when she came out. I said her feet hurt.
So they had the candidates doing the introduction, and she said, "Look, I'm not standing up for introduction. They had me standing up in the back. My feet hurt and these shoes. Nah, I'm just gonna sit down and do introduction." I said, that is so Baltimore.
That is
so Baltimore for her. But I do want to say that Catalina is she speaks from a great point of reference about issues. That is not a problem. She knows the issues.
Right.
Absolutely knows the issues. I wish she was running for city council though. But she knows the issues. She's run in the past, and if she is not successful on this occasion, I'm sure she will run again. But I do think that she is a great asset, and I liked some of her answers. The first question was about attacking crime and how the candidates, were going to attack crime. Jack Young, your mayor, and he reminded everybody who did not realize he was the mayor.
Wait, did you say my mayor?
He said, "I'm your mayor."
Oh,
right?
Okay.
He's everybody's mayor in Baltimore.
He did say that.
He reminded us in case we forgot.
Right.
In case we forgot, he said, "I'm your mayor." You know what I mean? And
he's nobody knows what he looks like, so he's never out.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
So maybe that's why he said, "I'm your mayor."
Bring the crowd down and make the crowd sad. When he kept reminding, say, "I'm your mayor," it's like a drunk man saying, "I'm your daddy," and you're like, "Damn, this nigga is my daddy." It was the room was feeling the heat of that. But he talked about loss of family members due to violence, and of course he tried to talk about investments that he's made in young people.
He did.
He tried to say that, and he tried to say that he was plagued with mic problems, and so he had to walk to the podium and speak there. We're going to talk a little bit more about his speaking. He said at one point in time, like I went to Baltimore City Public Schools. And it really was a bad reflection on Baltimore City Public Schools. The fact that he is a product of Baltimore City Public Schools.
And he said his kids went to Baltimore City went there. Yeah.
This is part of the damn problem, right?
No.
Speaking of problems, Dante Swinton, who has been I've interviewed him, and I like Dante Swinton, actually, as a human, as a fellow Baltimorean. I think that he has good ideas. I think that he would be better suited in policy, working because he knows the policy. I just don't. He's not the guy for mayor.
No,
he's
definitely not. I agree.
But he knows his stuff, and I think that he has a place in government. And it's just everybody can't be. Everybody's not the quarterback. Right. Everybody's not the coach. Right. You know what I mean? We need some water boys. He's not a water boy. I'm saying he's on the line somewhere.
There's a water boy up there, though.
But there was a water boy on the stage. I'm glad you brought that up. There was a water boy on the stage, and I had advice for several of the candidates. Speaking of advice, Brandon Scott said something that I've said about him all the time, and he addressed it because I'm sure that other people have said it to him, and that is this. Why don't you wait? This is not your time. Like chill. Like you haven't done enough yet, right? Mm-hmm. to be mayor. I mean, I think that let's point to a position, an office where he has been successful. We don't know that yet because it's too soon. It's like you've been there 15 minutes. You know what I mean? You just want to be mayor right now, really? You know what? And he talked about track record. Really, what have you done? Okay, what did you do? I don't know what he's done. You know what he's done?
No.
You know what I mean? We know he went to Mervo.
Oh, right.
And that's all we know. Okay, that's all we know. And we know he doesn't like Jack Young. But other than that, and we know that I mean everybody is a closet, and everybody doesn't ever has with skeletons, right? There's some skeletons in his closet. I don't know what it is yet, but if I find out the skeletons out the closet, there will be. But Brandon Scott is he's cocky. He's very cocky. He's self-assured. He feels, oh, look, I'm doing it, you know.
Right.
And I think that his arrogance, it comes off as arrogance. It goes beyond confidence and goes to arrogance.
You think
to me,
so?
yes, it's reeking from him. I want to like him, but I'm troubled by it because I feel that politics, anything, it's a give and take. It's a timing thing, and it's knowing what time it is, and he's also part of the establishment. When we say we want something new, right? He can't be something new. He's been around long enough to be contaminated by the scourge of corruption. I'm not saying he's corrupt. I'm just saying he's been around corrupt people.
Yeah, but he hasn't really been pulling in charge enough to pull the strings like that.
I agree with that.
So, I mean, I wouldn't
think I'm
say,
being too hard
I
on
think he's maybe teetering on the outskirts of the corruption. I don't think he's fully immersed. Right? I don't think he's fully immersed in the corruption. Right. He hasn't been there long enough yet. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think he's skirting around it like, you know.
But full transparency, I do want to say this, that Brandon Scott has close relationships with family members of yours.
Yes.
So we do want to point that out.
Yeah.
Yes. So, of course, if you're just tuning in, you listen to the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to dissect this more, talk about some more of the candidates, the mayoral candidates and the candidate forum that took place at the Morgan State University. And the Greater Baltimore Urban League put this on. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back with more of the Diamond K Show. radioonfire.com. And we are back. Welcome back. Diamond K in here. Nikki, how you doing?
Good.
All right, so you're still with me. I was hard on Brandon Scott on the other side.
Yeah.
But you stayed, and I'm glad, and I appreciate you try to look at me funny, and it's okay.
Right.
I mean, I just, you know what I mean? I don't know the guy, and the things that I do know about him, I have questions.
About anybody up there.
Yeah, it's all good.
Especially about somebody that was recently in the news.
Well, I think it's good. Let's bring him up. Through Vignaraja, who recently, came by Radio on Fire, and I sat down with him, and it's not the first time though. I think he's been there another time.
He's a friend of the show.
He in the fall of last year had a run-in with the police officers. Something with his lights not being on, and thankfully for him, that did not come up today. But this was not a debate. It is going to come up in some debates.
Definitely.
It was not the proper area for it.
This was the forum, and they reminded us of that.
Yes, and that's why you got participation from someone like Jack Young, because I don't think he's going to come to debates because he's not set up for that.
No.
But in any debate, if the question is, has everyone turned in their repair orders or for your car or something like that, they're coming for the roof garage. Yeah, they're coming for the roof garage. But Sheila Dixon, what I really see when I see Sheila Dixon, and I like Sheila Dixon.
Me
but
too.
Of course, there's the obvious corruption situation from her past. The mayor job is something that she gets an incomplete for because she didn't get a chance to finish it due to some bad judgment that she made. But I wouldn't put it with she didn't break the law per se. She didn't go to jail.
Right.
But she definitely had a lapse of judgment. The thing about it is that she comes off as a return to normalcy, right? To me, that's what she's trying to run as anyway. She's trying to run on her record. I did this. I brought down crime. You know what I mean? The inner harbor was cleaner. The water was cleaner. She didn't say that, but I mean, she might as well. I mean, everything was better when Sheila Dixon was the mayor. That's how she's saying it. And she talked about reestablishing trust between the citizens and the police department, stuff like that. Very interesting. You like her. Red is a good color for her. She likes to wear red at these events. It's
a power color.
And I think that that's a perfect segue to Pastor Shannon Wright, who was on the stage. She was the last was she the last person or the next to the last person to speak? No, right. No, she wasn't the last person. She was the last lady.
Yeah.
So I've interviewed her before. I thought that she's had better showings. I think that the gravity of the moment probably made her a little shyer than.
Well, she has such a small voice anyway.
Yeah,
her voice
she
is very small.
Voice.
So it may have seemed like that, but I think that she's.
You thought she had a good showing?
I do. I think so. But...
We're talking about Shannon Wright, correct? Pastor Shannon Wright. Okay, so
don't do that. Yes.
She wanted to address broken families, and a host of other things. I generally think that her heart's in the right place.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that I would say about her though is she's not original. She's not from here.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do that. She's not from here.
You can't do it. Stokey on the stage. I'm glad to see Stokey at this forum. Stokey, I was at his announcement, and Stokey is someone who can mobilize the citizens in Baltimore that don't normally participate in this process.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes. But will they participate? He can. He has. If anybody can mobilize the young people, it's going to be him. Okay. He hangs around a lot of rappers, a lot of sneaker shops, and places where young people are really congregating.
Right.
So he can reach those folks. If he can get those folks out to vote, he's going to be a big factor. Okay. If he cannot, then that's really going to be the determining factor for Stokey.
Okay.
Mary Washington, I like Mary Washington. I've met her on several occasions. I thought she had a strong opening. I thought she had a strong opening.
She spoke well. She's senator. She just right. Got the senatorial.
She better know how to speak well.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if it's her time for this job. She just got elected to that job.
Right.
I really think I'd rather her stay there in the Senate
for a little while.
Yeah.
Just like Brandon.
Do you think? Right. He should be happy where he's at now. And see, here's what he messing around going to do, right? Unless he drops out, he's going to mess around and not have no job because he's not running for. You can't run. He should have just stayed in the president city council spot and just rolled that out. Because let's say this doesn't work out, then what he going to do? 2 years he gonna try to run for governor or something? Really though?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna see how that goes. T.J. Smith, another friend of the show, like T.J. Smith.
Yes.
Just a side note, T.J. Smith. It appears, I don't know this for a fact, but it appears that T.J. Smith gets his shape up with a razor. As opposed to the clippers, the
that
razor.
Is so random. Okay, why? What does that have to do with anything?
Part is straight. Okay, his shape up part is straight.
I'm like, what? Are you getting ready to say? Didn't know where you. Nope.
Yeah, but I like T.J. Smith.
He's well. I love the way. I love to hear him speak.
There's Woodlawn in this Woodlawn High School in this bitch.
You're stupid.
Yeah, so he's from Woodlawn.
But that was his job, though. You know what I'm saying? Public speak.
Okay, public speaking.
Public speaking. Right.
Yeah,
so he presents well.
He presents well. You like his suit.
It fit. It's unlike some people.
If you had a daughter, he's the kind of guy that you would want her to go out with.
You going too far?
He's
Don't
very
know.
well spoken.
Don't know. Just because those are the ones
like,
you have to.
Hello, Miss Nikki.
Those are the ones
you take out your daughter Vicky.
No, those are the ones you gotta watch out for.
Vicky? You know his name Vicky. Hello, hi, Miss Nikki. I'm TJ.
Oh God,
I'm here to take out Vicky.
No, if I had a daughter, I would tell her to watch out for all of them.
Watch out for
the well-spoken ones, the unwell-spoken, all of them.
The Jack Youngs.
Yeah. Oh God, I tell her to throw that back.
Oh my gosh. Another question that they talked about was budget for trauma, and I think that this is a great segue. One thing about this, and we have a lot more of these. We have a lot more of these coming. Buzzwords. I hate buzzwords in a candidate form. Okay, the buzzword today was trauma. Okay, everybody. One person say trauma, everybody gotta say trauma. You know what I mean? It's like Callie Bird. She talked about trauma. Ricky Vaughn. Oh, I definitely want to talk about Ricky Vaughn.
Oh, yes, we can. Oh, no, wait a minute.
Ricky Vaughn.
He has a new fan. Yes, friend of the show. I am. I was a fan of his when he came to the show, but that forum, I'm a fan. And he mentioned his wife. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Cheap pop. He went for the cheap pop. Mentioned his wife.
That's okay. I like that.
Yeah,
he
cheap pop.
Makes no
just
secret.
people,
He's a married man.
Yeah, well, people that know about the cheap pop. Mick Foley, you know who Mick Foley is?
Yes.
Okay, the wrestler, Mick Foley?
Yes. With the missing teeth?
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
crazy.
And when he would come to a town, he's in Baltimore, right? Mm-hmm. And he would be on the microphone, yes, I'm so glad to be here in Baltimore, Maryland. And then the crowd would be like, yeah, that's called the cheap pop. Whatever town you're in, you just mention it because some people are going to clap their hands.
Do that. You think
mentioning
what
your
he did with his wife
is the cheap pop.
Oh, it is not.
It's so cheap.
It worked for me.
It's like saying, give yourselves a round of applause.
No, I hate that. That
you
don't
all
work.
look beautiful tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause.
That's not the same thing. It's so not the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I just
cheap pop, okay? And it's all right. It's all right. But people do it. And he did it. But that's why I say he didn't have to go for the cheap pop because he had substance, okay? Surprise! That was, to me, the surprise of the night was Ricky Vaughn.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought that his performance today projected him above the third tier candidates, and he is now in the second tier.
I agree.
And that is a good place to be, the second tier, because you don't know next week, the week after, what controversial thing is going to come out about somebody in the top tier.
You right.
And so Ricky Vaughn could catapult them.
Because
I will say this. After his appearance on the Diamond K show, I was not that impressed. Okay? I was, okay. Today I was impressed.
Okay.
I was impressed. So I do want to shout him out there. He was talking about real transparency. He was very passionate.
Yes. Love that.
He wasn't reading from a piece of paper.
No, I love that.
Okay, and says he wants to open the books. Too much money are going to police and not enough for schools and grassroots organizations.
Yeah.
And one thing that Thuru Vignarajah did is what I call piggyback. Okay.
Wait a minute. And I'm not taking up
for
Thuru. All of them, not all, but a lot of them did that. I mean, like half of them did that.
They did. But what really stuck out to me about him is because he came after Ricky Vaughn in seat placement. So whatever Ricky Vaughn said that got applause, he was like, and this is where I agree with Ricky Vaughn. You know what I mean? But Thuru talked about getting the ship in order, and he did this little thing where he acted like he was getting ready to say shit. But he said ship.
No, I really think he was going to say shit. You don't think so?
No.
You think that's something he practiced at home?
I absolutely think that was something
like the quarterback sneak?
Yes, it was a quarterback sneak.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, he's sneaky. Okay, he's a lawyer.
Oh, well.
Lawyers are
now.
sneaky.
Well,
okay?
you know what? He wasn't too sneaky. He wasn't good at it because he got caught.
Well, that was different. He wasn't trying to be sneaky then.
No, I think he was. 1 o'clock, 12:30, whatever it was.
Yeah. That was interesting. I really don't like empty rhetoric. Okay, you know, you ask a question. Yes, they said yes, but crime in Baltimore is really bad. People are traumatized. We got to ask them, what are they seeing? We need to open the books. Corruption, 30 years. It's cold in class. It's hot in school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Empty rhetoric. You know what I mean? What we're going to do is we're going to do things for the young people. You know what I mean? It's empty rhetoric. What are you saying? We're going to put money in kid programs and programs for kids. That's how do we say it. Yeah. What are you talking about, right? So there's a whole lot of empty rhetoric, right? And then, of course, everybody want to talk about trauma. You say trauma. No. What people are not talking about is trauma.
Right.
You know I mean?
After the murders.
The fourth person, what we need to talk about is trauma. You know what I mean? Just like,
that's true.
This Bama just said the same thing. And Politics 101, the young lady with the sweatshirt, what was her name? Pulley?
Yolanda Pulley.
Mm-hmm. You never, in a candidate forum, are you supposed to get up and say, yes, yes, bravo to such and such. This is my friend right here. I agree with you.
She said she's not a politician. She's a people-tician.
No, actually.
A people-tician?
Any politician who's running for political office that says they're not a politician,
I'm just saying.
I need them to... Don't say that.
She's a
you know what I mean? That's like an athlete saying, look, I'm not really a football player. You're on a football team, fool. You know what are you talking about? I'm not really an athlete.
That makes you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm
by default.
I'm a scholar who's out on this field. You know what are you talking about? We need a politician to do politics. Okay?
Right.
And you may say I'm not a career politician. You may say I'm a new politician. But look, dummy, don't say you're not a politician. I got to talk to you like you're from Baltimore. Hey, dummy.
Right.
Don't say you're not a politician if you are running for political office.
Yeah.
Fool.
That's true.
Okay? So,
they were all friends.
Speaking of fools, Jack Young. Okay. Jack Young said that he has reduced the police budget and put it into youth programs. That's what he said. And, but I've also heard him say that he needs more police officers, right? And what do you mean? You haven't reduced the police budget. What are you saying? What is he saying? He's a damn liar.
That's what that man said.
He's lying like he was saying he wasn't living in that house or somebody. He's just a damn liar.
That's what politicians do.
You know what I mean? He says he's a social. He said we need more social workers. We go to the schools where the young kids go. The what do you call it? Elementary schools. We want to get some money in there. And whenever people say random stuff like we want to give some money to schools, what does that really mean? That means that you want to give money to City Hall to people that's been screwing up the money. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Jack Young? His showing today.
Who? Oh.
Were you happy that he showed up? Did he give this?
No. Okay. So that's what I was. Okay. There was no point in him showing. It was as if he did it. But did he really show up though?
When he gave his opening statement and he looked at his watch?
That was before he even started.
Yeah.
He looked at his watch. I was like, sir, do you have some place else you need to be? Like, what is happening?
He said, well, motherfucking watch battery is not working.
Yeah, so, I mean, you use the word show up loosely. Like, really? The term. Yeah. Did he really show up, though?
Yeah.
But I do understand that he's not good at public speaking, though. He made that known, but... Dude,
it's like a quarterback saying, look, I'm not good at throwing the ball or running or making touchdowns, but I want to keep this job next year.
No, but see, right, that's the thing. But no, he became mayor by default, though. He wasn't, he didn't run for mayor. I mean, he's running now. Mm-hmm. But he became mayor by default. So I don't really blame him. Like, he fell into this.
No.
Yeah, yep, and he probably fell in kicking and screaming. No. Those where he probably was saying something else when he first found out he was going to be mayor. So right, that was more like it. So I don't know. I can't be too hard on him.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Speaking of another person you can't be hard on, Brandon Scott. We're talking about trauma. He said that his administration would be a trauma-informed administration, and we are pro-trauma. You know what I mean? It just, right. It just, the more he talks, Brandon Scott, the more he sounds like a greasy politician that just says whatever to get elected. I really would like to sit down and talk with him because
I think you should.
Yeah, I think that I should. Sheila Dixon, who I thought had a good showing. I think that she's poised. I think that she speaks with confidence, not dripping of arrogance, but she speaks comfortably. You know what I mean? She does. She gives that off. She's comfortable on the stage, and a lot of the candidates that are like in the third tier were not comfortable. They were very uncomfortable, and it was clear. She is, if she did not have that lapse of judgment with the gift cards, she would be knocking this out of the park. But I think that cloud is over her. It's not a total rain cloud, but it's a little bit of an overcast.
It's not, to me, it's not that serious. That's not that serious.
It wasn't a lot of money.
It wasn't. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, she has a track record, and everybody always talks about you need to look at the people who boots on the ground and what they've done. And if that's the case, she's a clear winner by default. I mean, you hands down.
She's because somebody who's ready for day one
she's
to get
formidable.
Started.
Absolutely.
She's very formidable.
Yeah, I mean, I know we say we want. I want a new regime too. I think the old regime has to go. However, I like her. I don't know.
Is it because she's a woman that you like her?
No, it's not just because she's a woman. She speaks passion about the city. She does have a good track record. And I believe that her work wasn't done. You know what I'm saying? I believe we need to give her a chance to finish what she started.
It feels like that.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's what it is. Like
she said that Sheila Dixon that there's a disconnect with healthcare and government, and she wants to provide wraparound services. Another buzzword. Stokey talked about wraparound services as well. I did like that Stokey was talking about doing an audit and getting rid of people who had been misappropriating funds. That's important.
Yeah.
Catalina gave those folks a way out, saying that those people who misappropriated funds weren't trained to do that, and she was giving them a little bit of a crutch for that. Mary Washington, the state senator, she talked about needing safe streets to come back. Said that we need to change. She threw, very surprisingly, she threw the most shade that was on the stage.
Wanna know why though?
No, why?
Everybody else was friends. If they said that 100 times, well, you know, my friends here, somebody else, my friends, oh, if whoever wins, we've already talked about this on stage. We're gonna work together because we're friends. If I heard that one more time, she like these bitches. I'm trying to win.
Yeah, Mary Washington said that we need strong leadership, tough leadership, and we don't have that right now.
Right.
Jack Young and Brandon Scott sitting there sweating. TJ Smith was talking about wanting more town halls and and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is that there was another just a reoccurring thing. Everybody said I've been doing the work. I'm doing the work. This person's doing the work. If everybody was doing all this, things would be getting done.
This is true.
Somebody lying. Somebody's lying. Whenever somebody got a clap for something, they're like, "Oh yeah, I gotta see that trauma." It was T.J. Smith. T.J. Smith, to me, you said that he presented well. I would love to see a debate between T.J. Smith, Sheila Dixon.
Brandon Scott.
Okay, Brandon Scott. Yeah, not Jack Young. I don't want him.
Ricky Vaughn.
Yeah, Ricky Vaughn. Now, that's a good debate. That's a good debate
right there.
That's a good debate.
That's it. Right. Oh, I am there for it. I'm with the popcorn.
Ricky Vaughn.
Ricky Vaughn. I have got to see him in the debate. I want to personally be in the house at any debate he's involved in because he's gonna give it to him. Yeah. If not, I'm just there for it.
Saru Vignaraja, another Woodlawn guy, he said that he wants to legalize marijuana.
No, okay. So the thing about that is there is so much money that we missing out on because we don't do that in taxes. I agree. I agree with that. The problem is just like everything else, the money will be exactly. It's going to go.
Yeah. But with the wisdom, he was like, "Yeah, we're going to take this marijuana money and we're going to put it to a heating system in the schools,
right?
And it's going to be misappropriated.
Yep, just like everything else."
And then Callie DeBurger said, "Well, nobody ever taught them how to." Use money for marijuana. Let's give them a break. They were traumatic. It was traumatic for them. And to me, I don't like the whole mentality of, oh my God, the reason why crime is happening is because we are not going in the community and asking the people, how do you feel about what happened here?
Is that what they're
saying? That's
what they're saying. But
these people are traumatized. Yeah. Like, okay, that's fine. I get it, right? Stop having it happen. Forget all that. Oh my God, Benny, how are you doing? That's fucked up. You know what I mean? I'll be better if it doesn't happen next week and the week after, and you never solved the crime. Don't come in here with some social workers and trying to put a Band-Aid on this big ass gash. Mm-hmm. Stop the crime. Figure out who's doing it and hold people accountable.
Especially if you're going to end up back. Because my thing is, if it's a crime infected and inflicted neighborhood, how many times you can come back with the trauma?
You can't. That's what I'm saying.
How many times you going to do that?
Solve the damn crimes.
Right.
Stop the crimes from happening. And this is the thing. They always want to throw money at issues, right? We open a rec center. We going to get some social workers. We going to get the squeegee kids. We going to get them jobs. I hear you, but throwing money at that's not. If you want to throw money at something, then give those people jobs. Don't give people that already have jobs more hours to do something. The people that need the money is the people that are affected by these things, and that's where the lack of money is for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But these people that already got degrees and that kind of stuff, the money needs to go somewhere else.
Or that money could be gone, relocate that family that had that trauma.
How about that?
Because if you leave them in that same environment, like you said, that's just a patch that's a temporary fix.
Yes.
Next week you still living in the same neighborhood and it happens again, just relocate that family. Use that money for that,
Yes. You listen to the Diamond K Show, Radio on Fire. Diamond K Show airing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, also known as weekdays, 7 p.m. Right here. Take a quick break. We're going to come back on the other side and finish talking about this mayoral candidate forum that took place at Morgan State University. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back, of course. Radio on Fire, your man Dominic K. Nikki in the building.
Hey.
Brandon Scott feels that his time is now. I don't. But he has this love-hate relationship with Jack Young, who wants to reduce crime. In his closing, Jack Young admitted he doesn't speak well.
Yeah, he did.
And he said he's fine with that. Another ignorant statement. He said, "I'm not here to sweet talk you." Right?
Yeah, he said
that. I don't know whether that was Sheila Dixon or who. There weren't many people on the stage that spoke worse than Jack Young.
Yeah, except for.
But I will say this: no one told me. Usually things don't get by me, right? But I'm looking at my notes, looking on my computer screens here. No one told me that Seal's father was running for mayor of Baltimore. Why didn't anyone tell me this?
Wait, but so
Seal Senior,
a.k.a.
Okay, sometimes they didn't even cut Seal's father's mic on, and sometimes when mics weren't on, people in the crowd like, "Hey, we can't hear you." When Seal Senior's mic was off, nobody said shit.
No, it was radio silence.
You know what I mean? Nobody said nothing. Okay. Sheila Dixon had a strong ending
Wait, tell people who Seal's father is, a.k.a. you didn't even give his real name. Do we know it?
In the words of... Let me do this. Do you know... Tell me what Seal's father's name is. It doesn't matter what his name is. He's not going to win anything.
That's horrible.
Okay. It doesn't matter what his name is.
All right, you're right.
Sheila Dixon's ending was very strong. Ricky Vaughn had a very strong ending.
Yeah.
But all in all, there's some candidates that are ready to be on that stage, and there's some candidates who are not quite ready for prime time. Unfortunately, we have 32 people running for mayor, and on the Democratic side, there's only going to be one that's going to survive. The Republicans are, going to be able to coast until November, I suppose, but I don't know. I really, there was not a big focus on Democrat, Republican on the stage. That was a good thing. I see some people in the comment section saying that Democrats have messed up Baltimore. It's Democrats' fault, right? I disagree with that. Republicans, we've had Republican governors. We've had Democratic mayors. Democrats and Republicans have equally screwed things up. Okay, equally screwed things up. But all in all, did you enjoy the candidate forum? Would you be interested in seeing other forums?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm waiting for somebody else to have a breakout. Like, I want to be surprised. Like Ricky Vaughn surprises. I would love to be surprised by others. So I'm here for it.
He surprised you.
Yeah, I knew he was passionate, but I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of passionate, of course, reports are that Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, got into a shouting match after Meek Mill and his team and Minaj and all of them were in the store at the same time. This happened. It was a very heated exchange in West Hollywood. As I said, of course, we know that Meek and Nicki dated, and they were in a serious relationship. So they bumped into each other randomly in this store in West Hollywood. They were not happy to see each other, for the record. So Nicki and her husband were out shopping at Maxfield in Hollywood.
Okay.
And so we don't know exactly who started the shouting match. But there is some footage floating around courtesy of course, TMZ, that you can hear Nicki's husband, Kenneth, calling Meek a pussy. Wow. And then Meek called him one back. Nicki threw in some of her own verbal jabs, calling Meek a bitch and saying that he can't get over her. I mean, it's a lot to get over. I could understand why he might be upset.
Whatever.
And, I mean, it's just, I like Meek. But I wish that he could have, I'm sure he wishes that he could maybe done things differently. So, I mean, it's no surprise there. Nicki is a very, very attractive woman, so.
But it's more to a woman than what she looks like.
Yeah, she's a nice girl.
You don't know that. She seems like she would have a jacked up attitude.
You think
she does
so?
not. Absolutely. That's honestly, that's why I'm not a fan of hers.
What are you basing this off of?
I'm basing it off of things that her fans or people have said about her, read about her, and the encounters they've had with her. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know. She doesn't even look approachable. I wouldn't even try to approach her. I mean, she alright. I wouldn't anyway, but I'm just...
What?
I wouldn't, If I saw her out somewhere, anywhere, I'd be like, that's what's up. I'm not impressed. I'm sorry.
Because, I mean, she's a great rapper. No,
yeah, she's talented. I'm talking about her as a person right now. I'm not talking about her abilities or anything like that. I'm just saying you were talking about her, on a personal level because, you said she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
How do you know?
You
don't know.
I can see.
No, it's more to a person than just what she looks like. But
all right, so that's cool. You are right. Eminem, first artist, of course, the rapper with 10 consecutive #1 debuting albums. 10. So he just released his 11th album, which is called Music to Be Murdered By, which actually the album is slamming. Okay, it's good. Now he's got some shock stuff on there. He has a music video where he is portrayed as the shooter in one of these mass shootings that took place. That's over the top, but that's the kind of stuff that he does.
Yeah, but the title though, that's kind of that's
yeah.
rough.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, of course, like I said, the album debuting on the Billboard and all of that. He is somewhere around 300,000 albums moved for that. Eminem was previously tied with Kanye West for the consecutive #1. Kanye's Jesus is King album was his 9th consecutive #1 album. So I guess congratulations are in order for Eminem. Do you like Eminem? Like his?
Oh, I mean, I'm really not a fan of Eminem.
Yeah, you don't like him like that?
No, I guess I'm just not into hip hop like that.
Okay. What? Not a fan, really. No, I got you. Of course, I am a fan of hip hop. So last thing before we get out of here, the impeachment trial of Donald Trump continuing today, and the Senate spent Saturday listening to Donald Trump's legal team begin arguments in this ongoing impeachment trial. So the defense spent about 2 hours delivering remarks and mumbo jumbo and lies and all kind of stuff. But in support of this crappy case that they're trying to make about Trump being a victim, they are in recess now until Monday. But it's very interesting how they are, they're trying to argue that Ukraine did not know that the military aid was being withheld during the phone call, so therefore there could not be any quid pro quo. And I hate that they're using the word quid pro quo, okay, which is Latin.
Mm-hmm.
People don't talk like that. You don't say, "Excuse me, let's have some quid pro quo." You don't say that. You know what I mean? You say stuff like, "You want something from me? I'm gonna have to get something." You say stuff like that.
Plain English.
But you don't say quid pro quo. You say, "See, no quid pro quo." Nobody talks like that. Okay, Nobody talks like that. But anyway, they talked about President Zelensky and the high-ranking Ukrainian officials did not know. So if they did not know, then they could not be being taken advantage of because they didn't know. Everybody just taken advantage of does not know, and they did know. But it's unclear exactly what top Ukrainian government official they were talking about. But here's what you have. You have a country who's at war with Russia, who is Trump's best friend. Sorry about that, Melania. Russia is Trump's best friend, right? And they're at war with this country. So, of course, he's slow rolling, trying to give aid to this country. But whatever. So that's what the whole thing is. And there's this new tape out that is talking about allegedly different things as it relates to him firing people, trying to resist his scheme, blah, 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 blah. But the defense is saying that Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. It was a perfect call, blah, 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 blah. No one even talks like that. But anyway, what comes next? The president's defense will continue presenting their case 1 p.m. on Monday. And the defense counsel has about 22 hours left to argue their case. After that, senators are going to have the opportunity to submit written questions to both sides. That's going to go on. This whole fiasco is going to go on for probably about 2 weeks. At the end of the day, nothing's going to be different than the way it is right now. What I do hope comes out of this is a lot of the information that is being suppressed and prevented from being presented officially. That stuff needs to come out to the public. People need to have that information, and then do with it what you may. Right? Do with it what you may, and make your decision at the ballot box.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. Of course, I will be back tomorrow. As I said, you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And I will be back here tomorrow. Thank you, Nikki, as always, for your very insightful Western high school hoopla.
Yeah. You're welcome, I think.
You're welcome, I think. Okay, good enough. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.